So we are back in the Ronin. This is episode 3 of our trilogy as we're running it. So we have the party is almost back together with the exception of Odoru, who's last seen with Aika, the samurai elf, crossing through the town on horseback to be banished from Sakai. And then meanwhile in the geisha house, Kaori and the geishas, the matron Gwen, Mika, and all the others are kind of getting the tunnel ready. Samurai Shangde has been getting his gear and armor out from the tunnels. Sato and Prince Oji are there. And then it's right about that time when Kaede, you are brought in from the streets. There's the almost like sumo wrestler guard who opens the door for you, and you are ushered in. And this is where we shall pick up.
Awesome. And for that request, I was looking back at the chat, and it looked like I had one on the 23rd.
Hold on, did I miss something in the chat?
I got to you too. Yeah.
I am missing something. Is it a missing style point?
Yeah, well, I got a steal request.
Oh, that was an accident. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I should have another one on top of everything then?
That was a mistake. I think I corrected the style points, but
okay.
If you did get 2, I don't remember I don't remember what everyone's are, so I'm going based off.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So I am. Oh, should I drop myself on?
If you didn't get put on the map, then yeah.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I'll just drop it in.
Actually, let me grab your other token because that one has like the name and stuff properly listed. But yeah, you open the door to seeing this big samurai guy in your face a little bit. He steps aside.
I forget, we named that samurai, or I mean that sumo, right?
Yes, his name was... It should be on his token.
Is it Bote?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Bote. Now I'm having trouble finding your token on this other map. Are you just covered up?
I don't know. Does my token... Oh, my token seems like it's like glitching out. Hold on, let me upload an image. But technical difficulties. Where would we be without technical difficulties?
Yeah, I don't even see your token on this map. I mean, we can just make a new one. It's not a big deal.
Okay, yeah. Theater of the mind until I get that whole thing figured out. Oh, geez, I gotta go back to the other chat channel. Then.
So for now, from the looks of the room, it looks like Kaori and I are conversating probably about we're going to leave soon, and I'm like, can we wait 5 more minutes? I want to see if my old friend will arrive. Is what I imagine, I think, where we left off. And
yeah.
Liu Shang and Sato were conversating.
Helping him get into his armor.
Yes. That makes sense, because armor does take time to get on. Whoa. Eric, was that you?
Yeah. Go out in the room.
It's robotic and stretched, I'm afraid.
You asked, we... What?
You are breaking up, like, insanely bad.
Is Kaori out in the room already?
Yeah, Kaori's in the room.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's like, he would say to Kaori, it's like, Not that it isn't a pleasant to see you here in all your beautiful makeup. But why? Yeah.
As much as it
There we go.
pains me to be in the garb that I was in before, Her Majesty has requested that her son return home.
Is that safe? Granted, the report we get looking at the stables are slanted towards the Barracuda, but my reports tell me that the war is not going well.
Well, the reports do hold some merit. We were able to get in here without any casualties, and I assume that on our way out it's probably going to be the same, especially with your blade accompanying us. I'm assuming that Sato is not going to want to hand over the baby, and she will kind of like turn her attention to Sato as if confirming her suspicions.
I think Sato would be listening in when standing by the matron, but she would probably be holding the, I think he's still sleeping, Prince Owen, as they've renamed him.
And thus, I would assume you would not want to leave your lovely wife and stay here. So my anticipation was that we would return across back the borderline with just a bit more strength than what we originally made it here. And since we made it here with everybody, I'm assuming that we will get back across with everybody.
I can completely understand why the Queen wishes to see her son. There's our duty to serve.
Eric,
No.
we can't. I know you're talking, but we can't make out what you're saying. We know the Queen wishes to see your son, and everything after that was garbled for me.
Well, I'm not at my home PC, so this is the best
Okay.
the best situation I have.
Okay. The Queen wishes to see her son.
But no, with the acceptance of people in this room, no one knows what the identity of the child. This is just another bad tactic of the Barracuda. We could still stay in hiding, but we would do it as the Queen requests.
As the young prince gets older, his heritage will become more apparent. And with your family obviously human, I understand her not wishing to risk.
I agree. That is the assumption and the general concern. Plus, back with his mother, he can start training to take over.
There is more to that, Kaori, than just him getting back. He also needs to undergo the ritual for inheriting his father's lineage of his rightful inheritance.
Yes. While I don't have any knowledge on the ritual, I do know that that's part of the pattern, but that does require him returning, which is another reason why he's coming back. So it's not that we don't question your abilities to keep the baby safe. That would be foolish of all of us to do. But it is what the Queen has requested, and it is the best course of action before the child gets too old and it becomes noticeable of who he is.
I will do as my matron or lord
Queen, basically.
Her Majesty.
Her Majesty. I will do as Her Majesty requests. Just voicing the concern that if they should fall, they would fall together. But we will protect the child as always.
Liu Shang, roll an empathy with a +4.
Dang!
And then outside, as Kaede, you kind of step up and towards the door. Mika is the geisha who's just standing outside, and she just kind of wordlessly motions for you to go ahead and knock to the door, which you can do.
Hello? Is anyone
I
here?
I would look up and see you coming in. I would immediately come over and
Yeah.
move around whoever the heck these people are.
Yeah.
Sato and Liu Shang, and I would probably
Leave Ping and Pong out of this.
Yeah,
But-
they pulled the door open with the katanas almost ready to draw.
I would give you a hug and I would be like, Kaede, it is so good to see you. You do
Uncle
not know
Chang.
how much joy it brings me to see that you are in good health.
Same here. I thought everyone was dead.
Everyone that I'm aware of is dead, which is why you need to come with us. Her Majesty requires your assistance, along with the young prince.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, can you start back to why you all are here?
Her Majesty has requested that we return something to her, and you being here is fortunate for all of the kingdom because your particular abilities are required. You know of the Barracuda, I assume.
I do. I heard about your father, unfortunately.
And Adrian, what was the name of the person who trained Kaede? His
It would have been
Oh,
the senior star reader. Well, I don't know if you would have been trained by the senior star reader, but it would have been one of the main sun priests.
I was like sent to a distant temple.
most of them
Then-
have been killed, and you are the only star reader that I know of that is alive, and therefore I don't know what training you ever received for rituals. However, there is a ritual that happens when the king, the new shogun, takes over, and that hasn't been performed. And the new shogun, needs to receive said ritual, and only a sun reader can perform it.
I see. Yeah, I'll do my best. And Kaede kind of looks around the room. A lot of unfamiliar faces. Kaori is out of makeup at this point, right? Or are you still in makeup? So, Kaede's gonna kind of squint at Kaori and say, "It really is you, General Yan."
Yes. And you are?
Oh, I suppose you wouldn't recognize me. But I was surprised to see you in a geisha garb. Your respectfully, your resting bitch face almost gave you away.
The look on her face says that was very disrespectful.
Kaede is definitely like smirking a little bit. But I'm glad you're well.
Roll an empathy check, Kaede. And Eric, if you can roll on empathy as well for earlier, or if you'd like, I can do it if you can't do the sheet very well.
I am trying to open the character sheet, and this
Are you-
laptop
Whoa.
is 15 years old, and it is
Oh,
still
jeez.
trying to open the character sheet.
Do you want me to roll for you, or do you have real dice?
Yeah. No, I didn't bring them on this vacation.
Okay. Do you want me to just roll for you for your
Yeah.
empathy?
Yeah, you at least should have access to the character sheet on a computer that isn't old
Yeah.
enough to have kids at the time.
Okay, that's a stat point too. So you get a +4 because this is for Sato. So we'll actually do Eric's first, just because took place earlier. But when Kaori and Liu Shang they were talking, and you tell Kaori that you will do, of course, as the queen requests, you kind of get a look from Sato, and she looks very forlorn, sad, kind of understanding that, like, yeah, this is the prince, but also for the last several years you've been raising the kid, so it's like kind of really a sad moment for her. But she also, being pregnant, is not like planning on making a fight for it, and she doesn't want to leave you alone, so she'll go with you, of course, too. But Liu Shengde kind of notices that, even though you're not saying anything.
There would be a hint of sadness in his eyes too, because yeah, he's been a father to this child for 2 years, but he's still more his duty.
For Kaede, you notice that Pong is this armored samurai standing beside you. He almost looks like he's gonna like backhand you for being rude to the general, but he's restraining himself because they're in the geisha house and you're a child. Apparent, not child, but he does not seem to appreciate your description of the general.
Kaede kind of just keeps any further outbursts of opinion to herself, but she's definitely smiling a little bit.
Where is the other that was with you on the cart?
Oh, you must mean Odoru. Odoru and that elf woman, Eika, they spoke, and Odoru chose to be banished.
Interesting. Are they still in town?
No, they left. And when Kaede says that, she's gonna kind of passively reach into her pocket and pull out a piece of paper and just like start folding it. They left through the west gate from whence they came. I was supposed to stay with them, but being a monster hunter doesn't have its place in this new shogunate, I suppose.
That person was a monster hunter.
And the Shogun is a fool. Well, the Barracuda.
Yeah, so I feel the same. And Kaede's her eyes kind of narrow, just talking about the Barracuda. I'm sorry, it seemed like there was something really important going on. Geisha attire aside, you said that you were all here to retrieve something.
Child, before we continue on with that, do you have any way of getting a hold of that monster hunter?
I do.
What do you need in order to do such a thing?
I'm just gonna need a few moments. And she's already actively folding this piece of paper. And she says, "Is there a tub or a basin that I can use?"
Kaori will immediately look past everybody to Mika and say, bring a basin or a tub as fast as you can.
Kaede and Chang at this point. You hear just in the ambience of the outdoors, the hallways in some of the geisha house are open air, and there's like the gardens. You hear the pelter of rain and distant thunder, and a rolling, just storm rolling in the background.
Rain. I hope that doesn't interrupt anything.
Well, I can just say that it won't be the most comfortable thing, but it definitely will give us an edge if we're trying to hide and get away from stuff. The
Not
monsters.
necessarily. Rain means mud, and our tracks may be visible.
But that also
They-
means that they can be covered up. But that monster hunter will be more than useful, and we could probably pay their weight by the time we get back to the capital. We need to get a hold of that woman. Where is that basin? And Kaori like just shouts it to everybody in the room, like, go get it. It's a very general tone.
There's a geisha comes kind of running in, or not running, but like the geisha waddle, like just a
Penguin waddle.
exactly, and just kind of sets over a wash basin on the table. It's full of pure river water coming in from the stream. It's cold, not heated, but it will do.
Okay. I think with Kaori like barking orders, Kaede would be kind of taken back, like the way she's addressing the geishas. Kaede expected for that reaction towards herself, but she is very surprised by the tone that Kaori's using towards these respected women. I mean, you can only see it in her expression. She won't say anything, but she looks to the geisha and bows politely as she receives it.
I would also give thanks for bringing the water, because Kaori is resting bitch face right now. Maybe it's active. I don't even know if it's a resting one.
ABF, I feel like, would be scarier than RBF. Because ABF is probably directed. And if looks could kill, Kaede would be dead right now. So Kaede's gonna finish making this origami flower. And she's gonna place it in the basin. And she's gonna sit and meditate. And kind of hesitate. And say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is going to work. And she'll say that out loud as she's like sitting in place to commence the ritual.
Kaori will be the first one to speak up, and she will say, you are the prodigy of the sun. If anyone can do this, you can.
That's not what I mean. The spell is rather simple, but the Odoru I came to know, they really believe in Bushido. They believe in a code of honor. And if they've been banished, I don't know if there's anything I can say that would bring them back.
Then it's best for us to find a spot to meet. Is where they're heading the west gate? Is that the direction we're headed? Are they able to travel along the border to where we can meet up?
I mean, it's possible, but I only have one chance to communicate to Odoru.
Okay. Well, the code of honor I know, he wouldn't believe in this shogun. So there is no responsibility to follow their rules. His responsibility would be to help us. Tell him
On
that Shogun's son, the true Shogun, requires his aid, and that he should meet up with us wherever we determine to respond to that call.
You could tell them that the hunt is on because the sun rises again. And then give instructions on where to meet.
I whispered something.
I just saw that.
They're narwhal bacons at midnight. What?
I think that's what Odoru is trying to to do. Let me whisper back one.
Okay. And then I'll make my actions. Once
You
I
hear-
get that whisper.
You hear in the background, pss, 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 them whispering.
Kaede looks around and oh, okay. So then Kaede will open the flower back up, but on the inside of the flower, it would be visible, and you can see that the inside of the white paper has turned pink. And she'll turn to everyone and say, we'll only have a short while, but here goes nothing. Do I need to make a check for this? I saw that the magic rules got brought up.
I was doing that for my own thing for something else.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't precast anything with this, right?
No, the intent was to prepare ritual components in advance, and then I also have a verbal component as well as a made-up somatic component.
So I would say that, yeah, you do have to roll. However, you'd get a +2 on the roll because of kind of the preparation, and the spell challenge would only be easy, so just 1.
Okay.
And then the spell difficulty would also be easy. So
Okay. So then I would only take a -1 to the number of dice, right?
no, you'd get a +2, and then you roll on
+2.
based on the net successes. You just subtract 1, and then
got it.
the rest of it is compared against the 3 difficulty.
Got it. Okay. And this will be sun reading, correct?
Correct.
All right. So I'm gonna utter my chant. Kind, strong, and honest. The monster hunter returns. Odoru, answer. And a flurry of petals will come from this paper flower. They're sakura petals that are just swarming around the room.
So as that is successful, so 5 minus the 1 is 4, which is above the 3 difficulty. So you are successful, and we see the scene kind of shift and change as no longer in the town, just with the very foothills of the mountain, as the storm very suddenly rolls into position over the town and the surrounding mountains and areas, and this is rain, not snow. But Odoru, very, very clearly, a sudden storm has rolled in, and now it's like peltering the ground with thick raindrops. Nothing that you're not aware of. However, I will have you roll a... Let me see what check this would be. I'm just going to have you roll an actual magic reading check, if you will. Not because you're casting anything, but more to kind of recognize something.
Sure. I imagine that would be the star reading.
Yes, please.
Okay.
With the ferocity and suddenness of the storm, of these big dark clouds just kind of rolling in, you've never probably needed to do this. I don't know, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody has just altered the weather. This is not normal, just winds. This is magical reading, changing the weather of the land, and it's specifically kind of like settling over first the town that's just a little ways behind you, and then kind of spreading and rolling, and the clouds unfurl more and more with rain just dropping over all the fields, the farms, the homesteads all around.
Taking note that it is magically created rain and storm. Odoru, whether they're still walking or if they've stopped,
You'd all be mounted at this point.
Would make note, and because they have seen the Moon Reader back in town, so they would ask Aika, Aika, is this the work of one of yours?
Aika will also... Oh, no, she cannot. She will look from the rain, proudly still holding her banner, which is that of the moon. And she will kind of give you a shrug. It matters not. We must proceed straight to the border.
Of course. I have a question for you, Aika. We've had quite the kind talk so far, from the town up to these mountains to the border. I fear that I do have another question to ask.
She'll pause and look at you as the horses just kind of stir restlessly, standing still on the road.
Aika, you once shined so bright under the sun as a warrior of a noble family. Now, as you exile me for refusing to pledge, tell me, why do you now take up your arms and dishonor yourself under the shadow of a false moon?
The Barracuda is the new shogun. The queen cannot take the throne. It's the next in line is the Barracuda. And he is the new shogun whether you like it or not. And he has made the decrees. You must follow them or your life is forfeit. Unless you wish to dishonor yourself and surrender your arms.
does not sound to me like a family worth living in if you must forfeit all that you once knew and give it up for one who has murdered their kin.
Her face does not change, but you can roll an empathy. And then, how long, for Kaede, how long does it take for you to kind of cast that spell? It was one roll, right? So your
Yes,
ritual
it was one roll.
Your ritual does not take that much time. So the storm is kind of just rolled in. I think it's probably just maybe a couple minutes after that you were able to start casting your spell. So while this is beginning to happen, your spell is beginning to activate. But before anything kind of manifests or occurs, Odoru, 2 with the empathy. Her face, like I said, doesn't show any other emotion. It's as if your words are just hitting against a stone wall, as she's very guarded with her response. You say, I shone once before under the sun. I was a mere samurai. The sun elected humans to be his generals above me. Odoru, I am now a general under the Barracuda, the Shogun Moon. I might not like him, but I have risen higher than I ever would have under the sun. Now, why do you delay this? And she's going to steer her horse to come closer to you a little bit.
Odoru takes a deep breath, further just calming themselves amidst the storm, and responds, I do not shun our human companions, but our elven families. We're close with the Shogun's son for a reason. We are their samurai. We were his samurai. We were his readers. We may not be destined for positions in the Grand Army, Aika, but we are here to usher in new life and teach the children that are the humans. Under Shogun's son, I still stand that you shone bright, and you could have trained generations upon generations of great warriors for you to look down on with pride. But as I say now, I see false pride under a shogun that you barely even respect.
What is better, Odoru? To be a monster hunter, a wanderer? Or to assassinate my own shogun and rise a warlord over Sakai? That's what the Queen's doing. Look at the strife amongst the land.
They fight, from what I have heard, to free those in terror from your new shogun. You have options in this world, Aika. You do not need to take up arms for one who wishes to rain terror over the lands.
Quick question. What is the common thought for the Queen's son? Is that a common knowledge, or is that...
No, nobody knows about the Queen's son.
Okay.
At least that was my assumption since he's been in hiding.
It'd be a fair assumption.
I believe it was presumed he was dead.
Exactly, and the Queen didn't really want people to know because he's been in Sakai this whole time, in enemy territory.
If I remember right, there was an announcement he was born, but then big party, but then after the assassination and everything that went down, nothing more would have been heard from him.
They were just about to start the week-long party of his birth before, murder.
Yeah, the Queen had been poisoned. You guys got to the village, saved her, and then like the whole Barracuda uprising happened, and then the Queen got escorted like barely to safety into the Buja province, and then the sun went into hiding at that point. And then since then the kind of rebellion's been going on for the past like 2 years.
But yeah, to recap, I tell Aika, she has options in this world. You don't need to serve under someone who wishes to cause terror, and that from what I've heard, those who fight back against the Barracuda are fighting to free people from said terror.
Okay. At that point, based off of Kaede, what you're wanting to do with the spell, I will need you to roll again, because the difficulty for that would be higher. 1 second.
Yes, sir. Brace yourself for some awkward magical lights.
So I'd say the spell challenge would be very hard to do that, but because you prepped for it, instead I will reduce that to a hard challenge. So you have a 4 challenge. The spell difficulty would still be hard.
Would I be able to assist him in magic?
Not with sun reading, no, because you're not a sun reader.
I know, but I could theoretically give him more magic power. Because I have hold on, let me look at my magic is like 11, and my oh, they don't have that as a skill. Never mind. I have like an 11 in magic. I feel like I should at least be able to give him a +2 with that.
If you spend a style point, I will allow you to try to bring a higher magical energy into the room for Kaede to tap into and still give a +2.
Okay.
So Kaede, this being a ritual as well, you can stack successes. So if you don't get it in the first roll, you can just keep building as long as you're not interrupted and everything.
Okay.
So
and I will spend an additional style point to help with that check.
Okay, so then
with it being a ritual, you don't really need to though.
Oh.
Well, it would give you a bonus on your roll. So what you're basically trying to get is a bunch of successes to get up to 9, but you have the first 4 successes don't count basically. So you'll get a +2 from Chang, and then you get a +1 if you're spending a style point. But your style point is 1 for 1 on the roll, so you'd get +3 on the first roll.
Actually, you know what? I think the potential RP with a ritual in progress could be really fun. So I'll accept the +2 from Chang. Sun reading, additional dice, 2. Here we go. Okay.
So 6 minus the difficulty is 2 successes towards the 9. So you're at 2 out of 9 successes, and this is the first couple minutes of casting. So describe to me again. You've got the water basin, and then you're speaking the chant in the room in the geisha house. Probably in the background around you, all the geisha women are opening up the tunnel now at this point. Sato and probably Prince Oji are going in that direction as well. I think what is everybody else doing while Kaede is chanting this? Kaori, do you want Ping and Pong to remain here, go towards the tunnel, or what would you like them to do?
I'd like them to go towards the tunnel, working on escorting Sato and the prince into the tunnel, making sure that she can get down there easily, things like that, and just basically assisting through that whole process with Liu Shang, who I'm sure is going with his wife.
What's happening in the forest?
The forest? I don't think anyone's over in the forest right now.
Yoi and I don't remember the name of the third
I think his name is Pacho.
samurai is.
And you
Pacho?
put-
Pacho.
And we put the
Pacho,
wizard
yeah. So those two are over there.
and the moon reader wizard you left in the forest as well.
The moon readers were last seen going to the temple.
Sorry,
To the tower.
Star Reader.
No, the Star Reader was being taken off to God knows where. That was just a storage area for
okay.
for DM to put him there. He's
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
Leaked out by his giant eagle ride.
He probably fainted on the flight. I'm not gonna lie, because I would.
That would be very unfortunate.
So Liu Shangde, are
Yeah,
you wanting to go with Sato or stay in the room with the...
He is staying with his wife.
Okay, I would expect nothing less from him,
He
to be
does
honest.
not know. Kaede, trust. Apparently, they seem to trust this new person that has come in at least enough to some degree, but he has no idea who this is and doesn't fully trust them, but believes enough, but believes enough in the others trusting him.
So, Kaori, you're the only one in the room then with Kaede and Chang?
Yeah, she's kind of being the middle liaison between the two groups.
Okay. So, Kaede, go ahead and make a second roll. And Chang, you can still assist with a +2. So you're now at 5 out of 9. So this spell is ongoing. Okay. Back into the mountains. Odoru. Where were we? Aiko, you just challenged her that there's more to...
She has options in this world, if other than bringing terror to people under, a shogun that she doesn't really respect, and that the people who are fighting against that are trying to free the people from that terror.
Roll a diplomacy check. I'm going to give it with a bonus, which turns out to be a flat roll because it would have been penalized before.
Okay. Base diplomacy or persuasion? Am I trying to persuade here?
If you have persuasion as a subset, you can roll persuasion.
I do. And I'm going to spend 2 style. So here's persuasion plus 2 style points. Four successes.
She finally seems to be kind of not sure what to say next. And she looks back at the two guardsmen they've backpedaled their horses a little bit to give the two of you some room, but they seem to just be watching. She looks back to you. What would you propose, Odoru? And she will roll up her her sleeve, undoing her like greaves. She's got like the arm guard, and she pulls that off, kind of tucks it under her arm, and then rolls up her actual tunic and shows you her forearm. And there is a sigil, kind of not tattooed, but it almost looks like it's tattooed or burned into the skin, and it's the sign of the Barracuda. How would you propose to escape the pledge of fealty?
Speaking in Elvish, swapping to Elvish, Odoru would say, under these new rules, I am but only a representative of those who hunt in the night and fight back against the monsters of this land. One could describe a man who brands their subjects as such a monster. I offer a simple solution. The solution being, you bid your men farewell. We find our ways into the wastes. And you join me in fighting back against said monsters. There's honor when there is an enemy of great terror to fight. So do not think you would be doing yourself a dishonor. In fact, the dishonor that may be found is waving that flag and banner in the first place, throwing it to the side, and joining a more worthy cause. I believe to be a more honorable fact.
Kind of her proud, snooty look kind of returns a little bit, and she kind of puts her nose in the air and says, I do not fly the Barracuda's flag like that Usue. I fly the Shogun's flag. I'll have you roll another persuasion check, and then over back in the village, Kaede, if you can roll a third check, please. Do you want to burn a couple style points to try to give yourself the boost to not fail the spell? Because your difficulty is 4. You have to get at least 4 to keep the spell moving.
Yes, I will burn a style point.
He only used a +1 on the modifier. It should be a +2. First, he should roll an additional die.
No, that was Odoru.
That
Kaede
was
still rolled
Odoru.
2. So for you retroactively adding style, it's 2 for 1 because the average you need basically to get a success positive.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
So it would take 4 style, but it would keep your spell going.
Oh, to keep it at so I need to beat 4.
You need to not get a 0 every turn. So you need to basically get 5 successes a turn to add 1 point.
Adrian, his modifier only was 1 dice. He should have had a 2 modifier.
No, that was Odoru's row.
Becca, that's a different character.
What am I?
There's 2, because Odoru rolled the persuasion again.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you're right. Okay. The Japanese names, I get mixed up so much.
So you were at 5, so burning 4 style would add 2 successes, so you are now at 6 out of 9.
Now, I guess just curious, the strength and potency of Sunreader magic is normally enhanced during the day, but because there's a storm, I'm guessing that's what's obstructing it, right?
The storm is being summoned by the Moon Reader for her own purposes.
Okay, so it doesn't have any effect on the sun's position in the sky regarding sun reading.
No, I wouldn't say that it's affecting that.
Oh, okay.
No, I think the main difficulty is it's just a very hard thing to try to attempt. It's like the equivalent of trying to cast a very high level spell.
Okay.
So
Would I be able to use my resource to help in any way?
yes, if you wanted to use your resource, that would give you a +2. So if you wanted, you could just use that, and then I can give you 2 stat points back. Or you can use that
Okay.
for your next roll.
I think I'll use it on my next roll.
Okay. Okay. Just reading the chat. So Odoru, as the magic is beginning to also become almost to the point that it needs to for your spell to kind of take effect, Kaede, is there anything that Odoru would notice or feel from what you've given them?
Yes. Odoru would start to hear the sound of rain hitting the roof of the geisha house, as if there were a roof over their head. And petals would start flying out of the pouch or pocket or whatever Odoru's holding the origami flower with. The sound would be audible only to Odoru, but the petals would be pretty easily observable, I imagine.
Would I be able to do something to recognize what's happening?
You could roll a reading check. Kind of the same thing to kind of recognize the magic.
Sure. Star reading. Here we go.
I'd say based off of what you're seeing, yeah, there's a magical spell about to kick off essentially, and you can also tell that Aika is. You've made an impact in kind of maybe her beliefs or her thoughts. She looks to be, again, taken aback and trying to recover from that, but also deep in thought. And you're all still kind of like at a standstill in the middle of the road with the rain kind of beating down. And I think almost like a bit of the rain above you is shielded too, as the spell is in progress. And then Kaede, I will need you to roll again here in a moment.
Okay, just tell me when.
I think Odoru, despite it being obvious, if it has an obvious visual thing, I think they would take the flower out of their pouch and hold it in the palm of their hand to inspect it.
Okay.
And trying to better understand what magic is being performed, what is happening.
That act of interacting with it is going to give Kaede another +2 bonus. I'd say a 3 though is probably not quite enough to recognize exactly the nature of it, except that there's a definite connection between where you're at and where that girl was at.
Neat.
Kaede, if you want to roll, and then between Chang helping and then now Odoru holding the flower, you'd have a +4.
All right, and then I'd like to use my resource as well.
Okay, so +6. And I will have you describe how that resource takes kind of effect.
All right. Do you require me to make a diplomacy roll or for
Diplomacy.
the use of the resource? I think the first time in the session you said it was like 1 or something.
No, I'm not going to make you roll that because you already established that it's there.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. 6 then. Here we go. And the resource that I'm using, Odoru would notice that on one of the hooves of the horse, there's like this mysterious glow, and little patches of vegetation are rapidly growing around it. Just like as they walk, it just leaves little patches of grass. Oops, I forgot to add my thingy. But okay. I was gonna add 6, but I don't think I needed it. But we'll say it's all there.
Go ahead and still roll the style. Just roll like 6 dice, and then positives count as 1.
1d2. Dang it!
That's a 6.
I meant 5d2, 6d2. God.
So 5 more.
Okay, so 2 extra.
So 2 extra. So you're at 7 minus 4 equals +3, and you were at. Oh, there's a lot of talking. You were at
9 exactly?
Yeah, if you're at 6 out of 9, then you are at 9 exactly, and the spell success is completed, and it goes off. So Odoru, the magic suddenly kind of like pulses outwards from the petal that you're holding. Aika's horse rears, and she must roll a ride check to not get bucked off. She's successful. Kaede, your spell is only affecting Odoru, correct? You're not trying to affect the horse that she's sitting on?
Correct. I'm just targeting Odoru.
Okay. Then yeah, you hear a kind of shout from the two men as there's a swirl of magical energy, and Odoru, you feel yourself being kind of like sucked off the saddle backwards, and you kind of land, I won't say gracefully specifically, but you land on one of these pillowed chairs at the bottom of the table, and kind of like thud down again on your back. And you find yourself out of the rain, still wet, but in the shelter of the geisha house in the living room.
Oh my god. Oh. I'm glad that worked.
Liu Shang and Kaori, and I don't think anyone else would really be able to. You can please roll perceptions.
Did he pop up in the water basin, or like he just popped up right in front of me?
Yeah, they not splatted, but like plopped backwards. There's a magical swirl of energy, and then plopping on the pillow.
That worked.
Liu Shangde, you hear no shouting, but you hear a bunch of footsteps kind of running by on the outer wall of the geisha house. Kaori, you hear the noise of kind of metal and armor wrestling, heavy, fast footsteps of people rushing up towards to the gate, and you hear the sound of the lock being like put on even stronger from Bote.
Kaori would give a very a very, I don't want to say satisfied, because I don't think I think proud. I think proud would fit. A very proud nod to Kaede. And look at the newly poofed individual in the chair.
Wait, he's still on his horse?
No.
Oh.
And Kaori would say, we don't have much time, but your skills are needed. We need an escort back across the border. Is that something you can do? To Odoru, to be clear.
They are looking around their new setting,
I'm gonna not be behind you. I'll be over here.
and they let out a sigh of semi-disappointment in where they are. And they say, I can certainly escort you, although I think it may have gone better if one of the generals of the Barracuda's lot weren't aware of my disappearance. So if you wish to move, we should move now.
I
At that
agree.
note, Kaori looks directly at Kaede, as if questioning whether Kaede had this information or not, and then looks back at Odoru and says, all the more reason for us to make haste. We have passageway to get us out of the city safely, we presume, and then from there we're going to make our way west in order to... West? Is it west, DM?
It'd be like southwest, yeah.
We'll make our way southwest to get to the border. Do you have all the supplies you need? We do need to go.
Yeah.
I have what I need, and I will escort you to the border. And then I have a conversation I need to finish.
There is
Understood.
another kind of boom from the front entry of the geisha house.
Understood. Let us make haste. And
Yeah.
with that, Kaori will start straight to the tunnel. No more questions.
Yeah. The tunnel is over by where Sato and Liu Shang
Yeah.
and all of them are, right? Okay.
So Liu Shang, Sato, the Prince, Ping, and Pong, they've already started like running down the front entrance. Chang, you're basically at the front, I presume, right? Liu Shang Day?
Oh, me? Oh, you're saying Chang. Okay. Yeah, he's leading at the front because we don't know what's on the other side, so he wants to.
Okay.
And he's probably used the tunnel more than the others.
Okay. So for marching order, I'm going to put you back in the room here just for, probably actually Ping or Pong would be next, and Sato more like in the middle. And then...
Sure.
There's the Prince. So...
It would probably go like this.
Nah, the baby would probably go in the back. It crawls the slowest out of everybody.
Damn you. I love you.
That's a staff point. Yeah, with everybody else who was kind of in that room, there would be a little bit of a space. So Kaori, and then like Shang, Kaede, and Odoru. Odoru, are you taking up the rear, following this?
Odoru would be following Kaede, and while following, recognizing, the whole magic situation, Kaede would be getting a very friendly and kind scolding.
Chang would actually be trying to figure out who the heck Odoru is.
like Odoru's to Kaede, like, I appreciate your magic. It is a wonder to see in action. But it is very possible you made a situation worse than it already was.
I'm sorry.
Odoru, what family do you come from?
I'm from the House of the Petal. They are one of the vassals of Shogun's son.
Would Chang know of them?
Yeah, you'd be aware of them.
Would I know of where like their outcome, like if they're alive or if they've sworn to the new supposed fake shogun?
That sounds like academics history.
Academics. Okay, I have religion, but might have been needed to be. I don't know.
You'd be able to roll history as an untrained, which would give you at the -2.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna roll it at 4 with no points. I have a 2 in that.
So the House of the Petal, they're kind of based out of a city, but not like the main palace. I don't think. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
So while you know of them, and like the house is still like in Sakai, so it's not like they all got like executed or anything.
I'm not sure what happened to your family. I hope they are all well. I was
Nani?
not sure.
This is all happening while you're all running through pretty much an unlit tunnel. I feel like Liu Shang has a torch in the front, and some of the others have light sources like lanterns, but...
Would I be able to cast an area of concealment around me to help the people who are around me be more concealed? Or would I need to have everyone who is going to be in that spell near me?
If you're trying to do it while on the move, I would make the difficulty harder, but you can try to do it. You are in a tunnel, so you'd get a penalty for that too.
Yeah, that's fine. Penalty?
Yes.
I get a penalty for that? Okay. Not a bonus for when I'm under a starlit night. What's the penalty in total?
It'd be -2.
Okay.
And if everybody's running, I would just say that's like a tough spell.
So, okay. Let's just roll 3 of these for a ritual and see how it goes.
That would fail.
Oh, I failed.
As you're running, it's just too...
starting to run. Okay.
In order to keep up, it's not feasible to try to attempt a ritual in this environment.
Okay. That's fine. We can do it later.
Liu Shang Day. You see in the front is kind of like the final like stairwell to go back up. It's made out of not rickety wood. It's probably actually pretty new, but it's like a spiral staircase coming up to what looks to be like a boarded up top piece, like a hatch.
He would tell the others to wait there, and while he checks out the tunnel entrance, and he'll be right back if everything's clear. I would quietly try to sneak up and open the hatch and go outside.
Okay. Why don't you roll a quick stealth?
And Gamemaster, would Kaede be able to listen to the voices of the forest?
Using your resource?
Well, I mean, if it takes that. Like, I guess it's to determine, like, if I can communicate with them or I can hear them. Because they would probably mutter that there's people. I would hope.
Yeah, let me look at your sheet really quick. Except I don't see your sheet. I have to... Oh, there it is.
What? Should I do that right? Oh, I just rolled very poorly.
I would, I'd have you roll that as an empathy check.
Okay.
And then if you're wanting to try to use another Kodama, then I would have you roll the diplomacy again for that. But if you're just wanting to try to do it on your own, then it would just be empathy.
Okay, I will attempt an empathy. And like point of order before it becomes relevant. That talent that we discussed, it's on. I'd like to consider it on my sheet. I just didn't get around to like putting it down.
Okay, yeah, if you got yeah, that's fine. So as you kind of are you going up right behind Liu Shang on the staircase?
No. I would think that the tunnel going through the forest, there would be like roots or something that I can listen to.
Yeah, if you want to like so still within the tunnel kind of touch and search, I would say with a 4 you can connect to the trees and then you can try to listen to the forest and roll perception. I would say that it'd be at a -2 though.
Okay, minus. Do I put that in the dice pool modifier, or will it just be subtracted from the successes?
No, it would be a minus at the front of the roll. Sorry.
Oh, okay, at the front of the roll. There we go.
Okay. There does not seem to be anybody that you're aware of in the vicinity, and Liu Shang, as you kind of push the it's like a board with a bunch of vegetation and moss and even like a small log on it, so you can heave it up a little bit and crack up and look around. It's pouring with rain in the area. It's kind of dark and overcast in the forest. It's not very well, not a lot of visibility, but it does look clear.
Okay. He'll kind of signal the other three be immediately behind him, and kind of for them to follow, and would climb up, drawing his short sword, his wakizashi.
Okay. Not too far behind. The rest of you are approaching. They had a head start, but it says there's nobody kind of up in the vicinity. You find yourselves in the tree line. Again, it's rainy, wet. The ground is muddy and slick. What do you do?
Once he's outside, he will pull his with the sword. He will try to use samurai steel magic, and then doing the whistle he always does to call to his warhorse. He'll try to like magically send that out into the forest.
Oh, that's cool. Go ahead and roll a samurai steel.
I hit the button, it just might be slow. I think I hit the button.
Do you want me to hit it, or just in case it didn't go through?
Sure.
Yeah, with 4 you kind of like slice the air with your wakizashi, and in the process it amplifies your whistle, and it doesn't take long before your warhorse begins to follow the summons and ride in your direction.
I don't think that's the correct horse, but it was like the one that started with a Z.
I can fix that in a second.
But
Yoi does not see.
He's like, good boy. I'm glad you made it out of there safely.
Neither.
You have a new friend to thank for that.
Zinzu, that was it.
Yeah.
Incoming. There you go.
Well, I hope you're ready for another adventure.
Wait, did it copy again? The wrong one? Okay, whatever.
We're not yet too old for this.
The rest of the group was also able to kind of come up out of the tunnel at this point.
Kaede climbs out of the hole and says, "Oh, excellent, a horse. Where are the others so that we can all ride together?"
You're walking.
Unfortunately, I only own one.
Oh,
And
okay.
thank you, Chang, for getting him out.
I think it would be most beneficial for your wife.
Oh yes.
Very glad to have been able to help.
As soon as Kaori got out and surveyed the scene that it was okay, she would start actively looking for Yoi and the other samurai.
Okay. You can roll perception or survival.
Five successes.
Okay. They do not seem to be in anywhere near the right place in the forest, but they are in the forest, trying to hide under a fallen log to avoid kind of like the rain and stuff, and they just seem to be kind of like wading out. With a little bit of movement, you can go and reach them. They seem to be a little on edge and afraid, being that they're stuck out here alone with the whole army in the town. But as soon as you identify yourselves, they kind of perk up and sheath their blades.
As soon as they get up, they, along with Ping and Pong, would be instructed to break down branches that have a good amount of foliage on them, and would essentially be instructed to take on the back line and cover our tracks as we travel by moving the mud over them.
They will do so. They shall be the 101 Dalmatians.
Yay! Exactly.
Do I recognize Yoi?
You absolutely do, actually. Yeah, he's the same guy, the guard you first met in that village.
Yep. Last time I saw him, though, he was a messenger.
Yes.
Oh.
Now he's wearing samurai armor with a big little
Yoi?
Liu Shang Day. We're gonna give you a big
It's
arm
good to see you,
clasp.
my friend.
You've put on weight.
The cooking of a good woman.
Sato. He'll just bow, and then he'll look at her belly. You've also put on some weight.
Can we award Yoi a style point for that?
Sure.
My God, you're fat.
He's all smiles, but yeah.
Quietly, as we're trying to not be detected in this forest.
Yes. On that note, there was a large contingent of troops that headed down the main road, but they seem to be splitting off and searching into the fields and the hills to the south. I don't know if they're looking for us. They're looking for someone.
It's best if we head south, then.
That's not good. If they were just simply there here to train troops, we could slip away unnoticed. They're looking for something that's going to make our job a lot harder.
Agreed, but the sooner we can use this change of weather to our advantage, I think it's time for us to move, and we need to move now. We cannot follow the same path that we took to get here, but we can take a roundabout area as well. Let's go.
And we leave.
Okay.
I agree, let's go.
Okay. So, on foot, the group is actually fairly large given the amount of people. Sato is going to assume the privilege of riding the horse.
Yeah, the pregnant woman carrying the baby is definitely going to be on the horse.
Yeah.
And she knows how to ride a horse too, so if she needs to get away, I feel like I'm a little bit more confident with her being on the horse.
She will also use her old geisha umbrella to like shield herself from the rain. And then as you're beginning to move, I don't really have a good map for this. Let me copy you all over. Is anybody doing magic right now?
Nope.
I don't think so. I was thinking about doing a concealment spell, but it didn't work, and I think just getting out quickly would be good. Once we get a little further away, it might be tempting. Can I roll I don't know what I would roll to know this, but what is the effects that this rain is having? Like, are they able to like sense magic this far away?
You can roll this would be you can do it as a religion check, which is kind of more like the use of reading magic.
That's why I did academics religion, is because it was magic.
For this type of thing. I probably should have done that for the last couple recognizing spell rolls, but go ahead.
Do I get a bonus for actually having magic for this, or is it just straight rolling?
Yeah, you can have synergy with your magic reading skill.
Okay.
So
plus 2?
Yes.
6.
For a 6,
nice.
You can tell that altering the weather was to attempt to disrupt any abilities for like having a clear night sky to see stars in the middle of the day or evening.
Because they're trying to hunt down the star reader?
It could be. It could also be to make the terrain slick, like Kaori pointed out. Or was it Kaori or was it Liu Shang Day? The mud tracks.
Kaori.
Yeah, I mentioned mud tracks.
Yeah, to help like make it harder to move, to make it more easy to find people who are moving, and just to maybe make people bunkered down because of the torrential rain. It's not super fun to travel in that, especially if you're an old man who was whisked away by an eagle into the mountains.
If it has any magic sensing properties, I wouldn't do this, but if it doesn't, then I would like to cast a spell, especially on not Kaori, Sato and the young prince, perhaps myself and Kaede, resistance to foul weather, like boost immune system so nobody gets sick, just to kind of. It's just a little spell to kind of help, so like nothing foul happens to them.
Yes, you would. You'd know with the 6 that the changing the weather spell did not have like a sense magic ability.
Okay.
With a 6, you do know that is a possible spell to do.
Okay, I would. Yeah,
In
I
fact,
would like.
Odoru did that recently, to some effect.
Oh, okay. Well, I can do it on other people. Do you want me to roll for that?
Yeah, if you wish.
Do I get a bonus because I have medicine ability as well, since it's magic related
to make it
medicine?
Sure, you can have a +2.
Yay!
Oh, is your medicine at least 4?
It's I think it's 7.
Okay, then yes, you can.
I don't know how many times I need to do this spell, but
I'm just gonna say that's easy because you're all kind of moving slow. So yeah, that's sufficient.
Okay.
So no, everybody will not have to roll any immunity checks thanks to the Star Reader providing arcane benefit. That is something else that I need to do now. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, while we're moving, Odoru will say to anyone who will listen, they do kind of say to themselves, but they are saying out loud for all to hear. They say, Move like a monster. Be treated like a monster. Be feared like a monster. And we'll begin to replicate the movements of one of the many the monster that they have most recently hunted, and replicate their movements and try and make their own tracks, seem to be the movements of a monster in the mud.
Okay, let me see. Do you have an ability for that, or is this more going to be a survival roll?
I could argue stealth disguise with a bonus from survival, because I am disguising my footprints.
Yeah, we can do that. It'd be actually more stealth then. Just stealth and disguise with synergy.
Okay. So stealth with synergy?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay. And is this just affecting your own?
I said it out loud. If anyone listened and were to follow, they certainly do. But you would notice that Odoru seems to take the stance of the last monster they hunted, which would have been a very large and evil monkey. So you notice them kind of drop on all fours and using their semi-gauntleted arms to increase the size of their tracks and begin kind of moving like a great ape along the mud.
Okay. For everybody else, are you all trying to also be stealthy? I know with the samurai in the back, like wiping the mud, are you all trying to pretty much be secretive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you want us to roll for that?
I will have everybody roll stealth then, yes.
I would like to cast a sun reading spell.
Okay.
And taking and watching Odoru do this, Kaede would say, "Move like a monster. We shall be feared like monsters. Move in the shadows." And she's gonna bring her hands together and say a power word that she knows, Shiru. And I would like to transfer Odoru's knowledge to everyone else's minds just for a short time.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, go ahead and roll your magic spell.
Sun reading.
I take it Odoru is doing this behind Poncho, Pong, and Ping as they're like brushing the tracks behind us. He's making these monkey footprints and they're being swiped clean by.
That's really funny. Ping and Pong are like, it was hard enough just cleaning up 2 footprints, and I have to clean up 4 sets of tracks per person.
That's funny. So, but yeah, you're able to do that. So kind of like a wave of knowledge. Kind of everybody has a similar thought of what is possible with what Odoru is doing. So I will say that anybody who's trying to do the stealth can get a +1 on the roll.
Kaori would be taking distance ahead of everybody, scouting ahead, and making sure that they're not going to run into any trouble. So that's what she would be doing. So I don't think she would be particularly stealthy, but she's trying to be as stealthy as she can, but she's definitely not within the group at this point.
Okay.
She's within seeing distance, but she's definitely further ahead.
How about you roll for me a perception, since you're kind of scouting ahead.
I feel you.
Yeah. It's dark out as it's kind of like pushing evening, and the storm is making it more even darker earlier, and the rain doesn't really help. You don't hear much wildlife, and you don't see any people around, and you're trying to maneuver kind of off path, trying to circle like far and wide around where the Barracuda's men are. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're definitely avoiding people as best as possible, and then Kaori's taking a further point to basically ensure that the path is clear before they even get there.
Okay. As you are moving ahead, the people following behind Liu Shang and Sato are obviously kind of like very close together. The samurai guys are all in the back, kind of sweeping the tracks. Odoru, are you moving out of formation or still within formation?
I would be trying to I would be trying to replicate the great ape as much as I could, and that would be breaking off from formation and making wide movements.
Okay. And then how about Kaede?
Knowing that she herself is not great at stealth, she would probably stay within formation so that her footsteps could be more easily swept up.
Okay.
But if Kaede recognizes that Odoru's intent is to throw off our pursuers with false tracks, she would probably whisper back to Pong and say, "No, don't sweep those ones up."
He looks grateful. How about Chang and Liu Shang? Just to confirm, you're within kind of the sweeping path?
I am walking like sand people.
He's walking, leading the horse, and staying close. He is a frontliner, so he wouldn't mind being close to the front. But yeah, right from front or right to the side of the horse, and
Okay. So.
And what of Baby Owen, Liu Shang? Baby Owen is out of formation.
He is being held by Sato.
He's hanging on to the horse tail.
I can't control that token. I
Let
can
me.
control the horse and Sato
There we
and
go.
me, but I have no control over that token, unfortunately.
I
Just a
imagine
standard wild baby.
I imagine Sato is being held. Sorry, Owen is being held by Sato under the umbrella as well. Is what I imagine.
The horse can have a young woman and a 2-year-old child in the saddle easy enough if it's designed for a very large grown man.
I don't imagine Owen holding onto the tail as the horse is walking.
Boing, boing, boing.
That would have been great, though. Like, who's really imitating the monkey? I think Oji's got it in the bag.
This is good parenting skills. I'm kidding.
Okay, Kaori, roll a survival check, and Odoru, since you're kind of out of the formation, you can also roll a perception, please. Okay, so Kaori, you're doing a pretty good job of getting around the Barracuda's men, as far as you can tell. What you don't necessarily see, and Odoru, from your kind of side vantage, you do not as well, is a large distended claw reaching down from one of the trees above you as you're moving. Paying more attention to your footing, as I need you to roll for me defense, Kaori.
How far ahead is Kaori from us?
Scouting ahead, like not that far,
Okay.
I didn't think.
Okay.
I'm far enough that you would probably have to shout a bit for me to hear you, but I am within your view.
Okay.
Defense?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Do you want us to roll initiative, Adrian?
Not yet.
Okay.
3?
Okay. You get sliced, kind of raked across the back as it kind of leans down from the tree and claws you, and you take 3 damage. It's not that big. It's more like this big. Now I would like people to roll initiative once I find the turn order.
Kaori, you changed your initiative. Wait, did you?
Getting
No,
names
my
mixed up.
initiative
Oh.
too.
Oh, okay, no, that was Kaede. Okay. Gosh. I was okay. Man, okay, just ignore me. I can't my perception is very low today.
Okay, do we have everybody?
I rolled it, but I didn't have my token selected
Oh.
because of how I'm
Sure.
making this work between tablet and all that.
Okay, let me reshuffle. All NPCs I'm going to say just go on initiative 1 because I don't want to roll for a bunch of people.
Okay.
Kaede, you are further back, but you hear, I don't know, Kaori, you just get slashed in the back really hard. Do you make any noise from that?
Do we roll perception?
Can I roll a will to see if I do? Because I'm honestly not sure. I think she's been through a lot, so I feel like she could kind of
That's
hold
okay.
her own. But to be perfectly honest, with the way that this system works, she's almost dead. So, yeah, willpower, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, there's probably a shout followed by a grunt of pain.
Okay.
Not a loud shout, but there's definitely noises coming from ahead of them.
So yeah, Kaede and Chang, Liu Shang Day can also roll perception. Odoru, you're off to the side, but I'd say yeah, you can all roll perceptions for that. You're maybe not seeing it happen, but you can hear Kaori. So yeah, Chang hears. Kaede hears. Yeah, Liu Shang Day though and Odoru either too far away or too distracted looking back at his family. But Chang and Kaede, you both hear.
Okay. Okay. Can I say something right now?
Yes.
Kaori seems to be having a problem. Ping Pong, stay with Sato. Yoi, Pacho, come with us. I think we have something that we need to deal with.
Okay. You're both at initiative 5, so whoever wishes to act first.
Can I cast a harm spell? Wait, actually, can I roll perception investigation to see what it was that is a problem?
Right. I think I'm on the same boat here.
Kaori, did you
'Cause-
roll, you said defense and you had... Yeah, you had your armor, it just was really low, right? Because
My roll was absolute crap.
Yeah, so...
My roll was a 3, but I have 7 die, so it's kind of just painful to have that happen.
Yeah, it should be 10 dice because you have the 3 armor, but I think it did roll all 10. So it was just a bad roll.
That's the passives down there, I think.
Okay. So yeah, so Kaede or Chang can go.
I want to roll perception and start moving towards them.
Yeah, if you move towards them, then you'll see their shapes through the darkness. And the
Okay.
rain.
How much of my move would I need to do in order to still be able to cast magic? Can I not cast magic if I am?
No, I'd say because you rolled perception to kind of be aware of it, so moving forwards would put you into
Okay.
not on a battle map, but if it takes 2 moves to get adjacent to it type of a thing.
Okay, like a mecha hack. So I want to get close enough to see what's going on and be able to cast magic, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get all the way there in this turn. But I do want to cast a harm spell on whatever was the problem.
Moving
attacking
forwards.
Kaori.
Yeah, if you take your movement forwards, then you'd be able to see and attack this round. It's basically kind of like this.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll go ahead and roll my magics. And we're gonna add a style point into it. Just because danger.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh wow, its passive is off. Is oh no, that's the average. Never mind. Okay.
So your magical strike, as you kind of like focus the energy and attack it, it turns almost away from you, but in doing so, kind of like dislodges itself from the tree and drops down with a thud. And then it looks in your direction.
Oh crad.
Kaede.
Yeah, I think running forward, I would try to use a very quick restraining spell. And I would like to summon spider silk from up in the trees to suddenly grasp at this thing and pull its arms and restrain them.
Okay.
Is that Sun or Samurai Steel?
If you want to tip an instant, it would be Samurai Steel.
All right, let's do this.
Okay. That's successful as you kind of use magic to pull this silk down. This would go against its strength score, I think, because it has to try to resist. And it fails. So its arm kind of lifts up to kind of claw, whether towards Kaori or to threaten you both, but then the spider silk comes down and kind of wraps around its arm and kind of holds it up, and then it lets out a roar, which for the first time kind of rips through the night. Odoru, you recognize this immediately.
I do. So I recognize it immediately. Do Kaori and Liu Shang recognize it because they fought one before?
That's actually
Is this the same thing that what we were after in the first game?
it is a Gorer,
Or
yes. So
Oh,
both Kaori and Liu Shang, if you want, you can roll just intelligence base attribute checks. I think Kaori seeing it, actually you don't need to roll. Kaori would, as soon as it drops to the ground, you know what this is. This is what Gekido had been hunting. Or one of them. It was a Gorer. Liu Shang, you remember that scream from the monster from 2 years ago.
can I reach it this turn and attack or not?
No, you'd have to take a double move to get up close to it within range.
I am going to move just in front of our two spellcasters.
Okay.
And activate whatever the offensive thing. Guardian. So, Guardian 2, everyone within 10 feet of me gets +4 to defense.
Okay. So, I
Ooh,
imagine you
nice.
kind of running up, drawing the O Katana.
Yes. And he'll probably say, monster, the tiger, it's like the tiger, the red tiger still has claws.
Roll an intimidation check, Liu Shang. It treats that as a challenge and kind of jumps towards at you specifically. Its claws trying to rake towards your single blade against its four.
Didn't have some kind of restraining?
Oh, it does. You're right. It's so it would try to do that and it has to break the restraint instead. So you had rolled previously, Kaede. I'll have you roll again against it.
Okay.
So roll another Samurai Steel.
Got it. Ho ho ho.
So it like tries to jump at you, but its left arm is all tied up and it kind of jerks it. The difference between that, I'll actually give it some damage because of its own strength, like tearing at its limb while it's being tied up. That's its turn. It cannot move past that. Odoru.
So how far am I? Because I have a movement of 9. If I hear this roar, where would it take me?
With you've got a movement of 9, I'd say you are fast enough to actually move into the close zone with it.
Okay. I would like to do that. I would stop my stance of movement. I would have to draw my weapon. So I would, flip my naginata in hand, and I would begin rushing towards the sound of the roar to get up on the creature, while, as I'm passing everyone, making note of, it's a gorer, stay away from its claws.
So you as you get up close to it, you see Kaori as well. You can tell she's been slashed. Are you wanting to position yourself just next to her, or?
Yeah, if I can get here, I want to get up with the beast.
Okay. You do have a pole arm, so you don't need to necessarily be right up in its.
Okay, well then I will get there. I did have to draw my weapon, so that would be my action.
And then movement. So then it would be.
And then my movement.
So Kaori.
Okay, is there such thing as shooting with disadvantage in this system?
There's no attack of opportunity, so you can simply step back and then shoot at it from a couple spaces away is fine. If you want to shoot point blank, there would be minus. I think it's -1 on an attack roll if you shoot right up close.
Okay, so I will take my movement back, so I have 7 spaces. So basically, Odoru and I are switching spots.
That's cool.
And I will shoot that knocked arrow that I have.
Okay. And this has been attacked just once by Chang so far, so he has a penalty -2 to his defense.
Do the restraints do anything for defense?
It would make him passive defense, which is 1 either way. So
holy moly!
So you deal 7 points of damage to him, which looks to be a very close blow. Where do you shoot him?
I aim for right between the eyes.
So you strike true, and its head kind of jerks back, and it lets out another gurgling roar. But then the head kind of still rolls forwards, and even the arrow feather sticking out between its eyes, it's still up.
Is there a second shot system in this?
It would be total attacking, which would be no moves.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, yeah, that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, so then it's new round. Kaede and Xing kind of at the same go. How'd you do that? You went off my screen.
I did! Oh my god!
How did
I can't get her! I can't get her back!
Kaori
I'm 7 spots away. I'm exactly 7 spots away.
That's pretty intense.
She's one with the shadows now.
Just like that.
You thought you knew invisibility, and then you met Kaori.
Okay.
I've got an idea for Kaede, but I'm wondering if you have an idea for Chang. Back up.
Well, I was just wondering if Pacho and Yoi were gonna join, or if they were
point.
just because he didn't put them in the turn order, so I don't know if he realized that they were supposed to.
Oh, all the samurai. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I told Ping and Pong to stay with the prince, and and Pacho to come and join for if we need secondary. Yeah.
So on their move, then they would move
Okay.
up.
Okay. Now it's yeah, go ahead. I was thinking they were gonna go, but go ahead.
Okay.
Kaede.
Kaede's gonna see the arrow lodged in its ahead, and she's gonna try to focus her magic on it and use potent movement magic. So she's gonna hold a hand out and yell out, "Rugoku!" And she's gonna try to push it further into its head.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
All right. That's gonna be a Samurai Steel, and I will burn a style point for that.
Okay.
Blah.
Nice.
This is again passive. That is
I'm-
4 more points, which, yeah. How, I guess you just told me how you kill it.
I guess so.
So the arrow feathers kind of like shove in deeper, and then its jaw hangs down slack as the arrow disappears, only to be seen as it falls face forward, suspended by its left arm, and you can see the arrow tip sticking out quite far from the back, almost 100%, and the gore just hangs from the strands wrapped around its arm.
General Yan, are you okay?
I guess, is that what I see? Because then I could go up and do some Okay. Can I go up and confirm it's dead and then check on Kaori and do some medicine on her and slash magic?
Yeah, if you go up to it, you can roll it would be a medicine check to actually see if it is dead, but you're not trying to heal it.
No, I'm not trying to heal it. I'll go ahead and do that. Medicine.
I would also like to do the same thing to make sure it's dead.
Sure.
So if that's a
and
medicine,
then-
I'll give that to you.
It depends what
Shang?
you're trying to do to make sure it's dead. A beheading would be an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a very different thing. I'm doing the Monster Hunter tactic of cutting it.
Okay. So Chang, you are fairly certain that this thing has now been slain with an arrow through the brain, and then whoosh, Odoru cleaves the neck.
Shang would go back up to Sato and say, Kyoi's been injured. I'll take Sato. She needs your help.
I would like to do a magic/medicine roll. Can I do magic with a medicine bonus, or do you want me to do medicine with a magic bonus? Adrian, how would you like to run that in this system?
Well, first as you kind of go up, Kaori, what are you doing? You've just retreated, so you're not like up in trees or anything. That was just kind of a disappear from the map.
I just yeeted myself into another plane of existence for a moment. It's fine. As Kaori kind of like makes her way back to the group, putting the bow back on her shoulders, she'll hear Kaede ask her how she is, and she'll give her a small nod, and open her mouth to say that she's okay, and then stumble a little bit and hold on to her shoulder before pulling her hand back and looking down at just like the massive amount of blood that she had gotten dealt.
Clarification.
And just kind of look up at the kid and just kind of give her like a little shrug and just turn and just show her the palm of her hand that's completely just like caked in her own blood.
Yeah, so Shang, you're walking up and you see that too.
Do you do that to me or to Kaede? Sorry, our position.
Kaede's the one who asked me. Kaede was the one who asked me how I was. So you just started walking up to me, so I'd be answering Kaede.
Okay.
Kaede would be like,
Sato is also a medic, and would be heading that. I took the kid and sending Sato that direction.
this is exactly what it's like when you're a patient at a hospital and 4 of the nurses are your aunties. They're all just crowding around you.
That's exactly what's happening to poor Kaede. Poor Kaori, it just went from being like, "Oh, I'm injured," to the aunties are here.
Do
But
we
yeah.
want to? I can roll that with. Are you,
Oh,
Hold
Adrian?
on. So yeah, if you're wanting to go up and try to heal the wound magically, it would be a reading check still.
and I'd like to help. I would kind of whisper to a Kodama and say, "Yeah, can you help the Star Reader heal that woman with a resting bitch face?"
Adrian, did you do my medicine roll?
No, I didn't roll anything for you. I don't have your sheet open. Did you already roll?
And then
I didn't. I don't think I did because I was waiting to hear if you wanted that from medicine or magic, and then.
Oh no,
then
that
a
was for
medicine.
sensing the gore. That was because you were like looking at him.
Oh, duh. Oh.
and then do you want me to roll diplomacy with
Yes.
like 0 now? Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
So Sato is dismounting with Liu Shang's help and kind of like moving up. Again, raining in muddy and uneven ground. She's not quite as fast for Shang to get up there. But if you go up to Kaori and you kind of kneel down, you can begin your ritual. I'd say because you're not in combat, just trying to close the wound would only be average. And then
For me or for
both of you, for Kaede and you, if you're both trying to do it together separately, or do you want to try to?
Okay,
I
so
don't really like Sun and Star readers combining a whole lot because
Okay.
it is different in my mind.
I
So
have a butt ton of magic, and I also have like 7 in my medicine, but I can do it second because there is that penalty that happens if you're performing healing after it's already been performed.
that's true. I forgot about that.
So yeah, well, you never played a magic character before, so I wasn't sure.
Kaede's actually healing me.
Sato.
Hold on. So there's basically 3 people trying to do stuff. So Chang, you're wanting to heal. Kaede,
Yeah.
you're summoning your
Yeah, I'm
spirit.
having my Kodama like run over to help, so I don't know if Chang would even know it's there.
So what are you trying to have the Kodama do?
Amplify whatever magic is being sent from Chang to Kaori.
Okay, so you're trying to not necessarily you do the healing, but just assist.
Yes.
Okay, so then Chang, you'd get a +2 on your roll, and it'd be sun reading.
Okay, so I do it magic. Do I get an
Yes.
additional +2 for having 7 healing?
Well, if you're trying to heal magically, I don't think so. I think it'd be either you can try to use medicine, or you can try to use magic.
Okay, we'll go ahead and just do magic because that is very good heal. Once it actually goes through. I'm rolling it again. It's taking too long.
I think Roll20 has been having problems recently.
Yeah, try that again. There we go. That should be 6 lethal damage healing.
No, it's not. It's 3 heal. Because it's a tough spell. So if you look at this, it's you take your 6 successes minus the difficulty of 3, and then you have to get benefit after that. So your healing spell your ritual is still in progress as you're beginning to cast. So it's actually not completed yet.
Okay, so you want it to be a ritual?
It has to be a ritual.
Okay.
You
Sorry.
can't use Samurai Steel to heal someone.
Okay.
And at this point, also Sato's coming up.
Your magic system is different from the other magic system for for this.
That's why there's rules for the magic here.
Yeah. Is that
So yeah, after a minute, and Sato kind of like kneels down to look at Kaori. It's like about to offer help, but can tell that the elf is channeling magical energy, and so she kind of waits until you finish. And Kaori, you do feel like the magic take hold and begin to bind the wound and seal itself back over. And at the end of it, you are okay. There's just like blood kind of staining the areas around it, which you can clean up. But you are brought back to full health.
Uncle Chang, you're not done yet. The face is still all marred.
There is nothing I can do about that, Kaede. It has been too long.
Such as the tragedies of war, I suppose. And with that, Kaede would just like deadpan, like walk over to Odoru.
Would Kaede know that if there's a wound that's been there for a long time, it's more difficult to heal? Is that a rule in here too, Adrian, or no?
I'm not sure what you just said. Sorry.
Oh, if there's there's like magic rules, and one of them is the difficulty increases if the wound is a certain how old the wound is. So her face being born that way.
Well, her face isn't a wound.
At least someone's nice to poor Kaori. God in the sky is nice to her. Liu Shang is nice to her.
Ichi's
That's
nice
it.
to you.
I just healed you. I'm being very nice to you.
Your sarcasm says otherwise.
Chang actually has the utmost respect for Kaori. But would enjoy a good chuckle, even though probably Kaori did not enjoy it.
As Liu Shang is kind of talking to Owen, the little boy, elf boy, stops to fuss, and you calm him down, and I give you a stat point. With the monster dead, as you kind of regroup, Kaori, the pain gone, just the battle scratch on the back of your armor still there, but otherwise back to okay. Do you wish to resume?
The entire time that was going on, I said it in chat, but so many people were trying to heal each other. I would have liked to look over the gorer, and then I would have liked to possibly call for someone without really looking back. I maybe would have said, could someone assist me in removing its paws? And I would like to try and remove both of its large clawed paws.
Yoi will run up and offer his wakizashi and then kind of squat down. It's like, you would not believe this, Monster Hunter. This is not the first one of these that I've seen.
You are lucky to have survived 2 of them now. I've heard of these creatures from my master, but I've yet to see one till now.
Yeah. Well, you're the first one who's spoken of this without fear. He'll watch you cut off the ends.
They're quite deadly creatures, and to face one without fear is a great deed. Monster Hunter or not. And I would like to cut off both paws. How big are they in comparison to any bags that I may have?
They're pretty big, but I mean, you could strap them onto your belt, or you can try to stuff them into a bag. If you got one, you can fill the bag with it.
So yeah, I would like to stuff one of the paws into my bag, and if I'm able to remove the second one, I would like to use it as another method of deterring tracks by digging the claws into the mud to make it look like this creature has been through here even further.
Okay, that would work.
As everyone's talking, at a certain point, Kaori would raise her hand, essentially calling for silence. And I would like to roll a perception check to see if the scuffle we had drew any attention.
Okay. Roll perception.
4 successes.
You notice no troops, no Barracuda's men, but you notice that the storm abruptly has stopped. You can see the night sky beginning to kind of shine through as the clouds dissipate.
I'd like to think that around this point is when Kaede walked over. And Odoru is like digging a hole, right, to make it look like the gore's been there for a while.
Well, they removed both paws. They're talking to Yoi. They haven't started it yet, but they are holding one of the paws in their own hand. Their plan is to drag the paw across the mud as they walk to make it look like this is the area this creature is in.
Oh, okay. I guess Kaede would have asked that in conversation. I meant to RP that, but I guess going on top of that, in character, is this meant to help cover our tracks?
This is meant so that should someone see the markings, perhaps they will recognize a dispute amongst monsters. It is not uncommon that one would fight another, and they should be deterred from moving any further if they follow the claw marks. So yes.
I see. And then okay. If this creature's body were to disappear, would that help reinforce or would that take away from a territorial dispute?
What is my knowledge on gorers? Do they kill and leave behind when they get into disputes, or do they kill and immediately drag away?
They will devour most of the carcass and leave behind the parts that it doesn't like, leaving like remains, clawing and marking its territory if there's other monsters in the vicinity, is not uncommon either. For a monster hunter, if you were to encounter or come across like the claw marks, you would know that you're like within its hunting area.
Mm-hmm. So I would let that be known. Should anyone see these claw marks, if they are smart, they would find themselves to be in a hunting area of this beast. They are not known to drag away their prey rather than eat it and leave behind the remains. I would recommend we keep the corpse where it lies, and should anyone wish to take trophies, while it is usually the job of the monster hunter to harvest one creature, the more it looks decimated, the more it would give the effect of another in the area.
I see. Kaede would look around and see if anyone kind of follows up on that offer before turning back to Odoru. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
Odoru,
Kaede would start to help.
did you remove the head? Did you
Kaori, Jesus. You had to pick a K name, didn't you?
I did cut off the head. I cut off the 2 paws.
Are you doing anything with the head?
I am going to take the head, and I will. This is a weird idea. Odoru has been used to the muck and grime of hunting a monster before. They have, on their token, they have the rice hat. Could they place the head within the hat and then tie it along their back?
You could.
They would do that. So they would have the paws and they would have the head.
Once everyone gets their trophies, can I use magic to kind of decay the body a little bit?
That's
so
what I was
it's
thinking.
So it's been eaten a little more?
Yoi probably would like go, if it's still got its feet, try to get a claw out, and then he'll come over to Liu Shang and kind of try to get as much of the blood off of it as possible and hand it. He's like, "Here, give it to Oji in memory of Gekido."
Wow. He would say, I'm sure he'll appreciate that very much. Maybe I'll hold on to it till he's stop objects in 2-year-olds.
Do I hear Yoi say that?
Fair.
But he would let Owen see it and tell him that, but that it will be his eventually.
Probably, because I don't think anyone's really trying to be extremely quiet, because you're in the wilderness at this point and removed from the Barracuda's men.
So I hear what Yoi says. Odoru would turn towards Yoi and say, "You know of my master?"
Wait.
That would stop Kaori in her tracks as well. Yes, your master fought alongside us when we all first came to meet each other.
The last I heard, he was off hunting a monster. We parted ways for my own initiation when I joined the Hunters Guild. He sent me on my way into the wastes, and that was the last I saw of him.
He died a hero. I have been recanting the stories for bedtime stories for many years now. I would be happy to tell you what happened when we are away from this place.
That is unfortunate to hear. I was hoping to retell him of my story, of my hunt. But yes, you will have to let me know of his deeds.
His deeds are worth more than just stories for a child. They will be documented and read to everybody in the land.
It is good to hear. It is something worth documenting, his stories and his teachings.
Kiara would approach Odoru probably for the first time and say it was an honor to fight alongside your master, as it is an honor to travel and fight alongside you. And she would extend out her hand.
Odoru would offer theirs in return. And if you fought alongside my teacher, my master, then I am honored to fight alongside you. I am sure he found great joy within the midst of battle alongside yourselves.
The honor is shared amongst all of us, and we appreciate your escort and this discovery. I am General Kaori Yan of the Shogun-san.
It is good to meet you, General Yan. I am Odoru Hanabira, also known as the Dancing Petal of House Petal.
Do I know that name?
It's an elf house, so possibly. Why don't you roll a... not academics, I suppose. I'll let you roll investigation instead, maybe.
Okay, sure. Probably not. We're all trying, Pie.
While after that happened, I would direct Ping Pong Pacho to start cleaning up tracks around the area again as best as possible, to make it look like only the one set of tracks has come in.
They get the branches and kind of leave, like, try to wipe the marks except for those left by Odoru with the gore claws. And if you'll wish to begin making your way now that it's stopped raining.
Kaede is gonna place her hands upon this thing's corpse and whisper, "Ashes to ashes. May the land take back this flesh, dust to earthly dust." And she's gonna bring her hands together and say, "Sakusei, Hakkai," and she's calling out to all the worms in the area to come up and start devouring this thing.
That's cool. I'm not even gonna make you roll. That begins to, you see the earth kind of swarm with movement for a moment as the worms and the animals of the dirt come and begin to cover and devour the gore.
Right? Those worms are freaking happy. I turn to Odoru. Hopefully this will be enough to augment our ruse.
The markings of a monster should be enough, but the decaying corpse of one should increase our odds of staying hidden, most definitely.
All right, let's go.
Does the weather changing feel weird? Does it feel enough for me to kind of look at Chang and be like, what's with the weather?
It feels like it ended as quickly as it started. You're not a reader, but it feels like it probably could have been like a dispelled magic piece, or something that, again, an alter weather effect from magic.
Okay, gotcha. Well, the weather has cleared. We have a chance to still cover our tracks with the access to the mud. We need to keep moving.
And I think with that, the party begins to once again make their way onto the path, forging their way through the wilderness of the mountains, curving almost southeast first to kind of circumvent the Ichi's search path, and then circle back around to the west and head around towards the front lines. I think at that point, that's going to be where we stop, because you pretty much circumvented the entirety of the samurai, and
Yes!
going through the wilderness, you fought the monster instead. And I don't really want to push too much past to like have you go through like the actual front lines and everything. So I think in the interest of time and closing out this little trilogy, the party crosses further south than where the main battle lines are, and enters into the Busho province, which is again the untamed lands, where there are normally many monsters, and many Ronin and bandits and other dangers. But between Kaori, Shang, Liu Shang, Odoru, and Kaede, the party and troop is able to enter in and make their way into Busho to eventually regroup with the queen.
If you wouldn't mind, I do have something rather different, because I think it would fit the character better.
Sure.
When they get to the border going into Busho province, if the horse that Liu Shang and Sato and that they have having like saddlebags, Odoru would take the head of the gorer and tie it to the horse and say, any merchant who has honor still should accept this and offer you payment for a monster hunter's quarry. To all of you, as I mentioned before, I would bring you to the lines, but I have a conversation that needs finishing.
Before you leave,
Okay.
would Chang and Kaori, would either of us tell Odoru that the prince is in fact a prince?
I think what Kaori would do as she's shaking their hand goodbye, she would give Odoru just the ever so smallest smile and say, I hope to see you when the sun rises again.
I would make sure he knew the basics of the story of the bedtime stories before leaving. But as much as we...
No, you go.
But I don't know if at this point he might still be a little resistant to tell about the prince.
Chang wouldn't tell Odoru probably about the prince, but I probably would say that the queen has had a child, and Kaede, your sun reading is required in order to properly give him to become the king. In which case, Kaede would know about that, and I don't know if Kaede would tell Odoru anything about that.
I think that would be in confidence. If Chang told her not to say anything, she wouldn't.
I don't think Chang specifically told you not to say anything because it would have been like close to the border. Like we're past most of everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think I would have specifically told you that in confidence because we're going to the queen, and I don't know how well known it is over there, but I'm pretty sure most of the people over there know about the prince.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my assumption, Adrian. I could be wrong.
I'll keep it in mind for the incoming conversation.
I don't know if Odoru is going to leave before you have that conversation with him, though.
Up to them.
Well, Odoru would be staying and saying their goodbyes to everyone.
Okay. Then I'm probably just gonna write it all with samurai steel, I guess, onto a piece of parchment, which I am folding into another flower. Except this one's gonna be a little different. Kaede's gonna take one of her earrings, which have been faintly glowing all this time, and I think Odoru probably caught on to what they were. She's gonna put it in the flower and give it to Odoru, and say, "I wish you'd stay." As it turns out, when people say don't meet your heroes, I suppose it's for a reason. Although I do respect General Yan, just don't let her hear that. I have come to admire you a little bit, Odoru, and I do wish you'd stay safe.
You as well, Kaede, and I appreciate the journey that we have been on together. But as I have said previously, I have a conversation that needs finishing. Some people back in Edo have perhaps a change of heart that needs someone to talk with. And while I appreciate your magics, your powers, I would kindly ask you let me keep this journey to myself, both there and back, and is kindly telling you no more teleportations.
Yeah, I picked that up. I swear I won't interrupt your journey this time, Odoru. Could I leave Akodama with Odoru until that conversation is had, and then it can, like, make its way back to me? Or I attract a new one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, I think Odoru can actually see them. So, a little Kodama's gonna hop from my shoulder onto yours and kind of just take a seat.
Odoru would just make note of it, nod their head towards Kaede, and then to the greater group before turning and walking off, would say, I look forward to one day rejoining with you all and grazing under the great sun once more.
Chang would bow to Odoru in a see you later gesture.
Dawn is coming, but keep yourself safe as you walk the night.
Kaori would also give a bow of respect to the monster hunter.
And with that, Odoru would turn on their heels using their naginata as a walking stick and begin walking to go finish their conversation. That was,
Very
abruptly
rude.
stopped.
Very
Yes.
rudely interrupted.
Abruptly interrupted by getting yeeted into a different room, apparently.
My bad.
So, Kaori, Ping Pong and Pacho and Yoi all kind of like form up behind you as you look down from the mountain pass that you're in into the province below, and just kind of silently stand with you, warriors all together. Behind Sato and Owen, Prince Oji mounted, kind of right by Liu Shang, Chang and Kaede, probably I presume taking up the back.
Yeah.
Liu Shang, you're gonna go stand up with all the rest.
Yeah, he would. I'm not entirely sure who was where and what, but yeah, he would. Still with them, yeah.
You begin to descend down the path on your way to reunite with Queen Hana, and as the sun rises ahead, it'd be behind. Sun rises in the east. You all depart, and that is the end of the Ronin. Well, this trilogy at least.
That will be an interesting RP conversation, but maybe that might be the beginning of next trilogy.
Well, thank you all for playing. I really hope you all enjoyed and had fun. I loved seeing all your characters again, so thank you for playing.
We did it! We made it through the entire thing without fighting any of the generals and screwed up DM's plans. That was perfect, guys. Well done!
But that just means we need to face off in season 4. We just need to face off, have to encounter them and have a face off.
I'm really excited for
Exactly.
season 4.
This was supposed to be a stealth mission, so not fighting people is
It
actually
went really well.
it actually was, yeah.
Expert stealth mission.
Yes.
Odoru, your battle was with words.
If I would have
Yes.
had one more turn, that thing would have seen my Okatana in action, but I couldn't reach it, so he went into Guardian mode.
Yeah.
I will always applaud Guardian mode because we had some very sensitive packages we were carrying. Guardian mode all the way.
Honestly, it's a
Yeah.
good thing that you were actually in the front doing the scouting, because you put yourself as the first target. But if you were all grouped together, then it might have gone for something higher off the ground.
Yeah. Very good. Even with that umbrella, not good.
So I'm gonna end the
It
recording.
takes the umbrella. Nah, it's
Yeah.
mine. I look pretty.
Everybody, say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye,
Bye,
YouTube.
YouTube.